Welcome everybody to some open qualifying pre-race coverage here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for tonight's CMC Sportsman Series here at Las Vegas again for the Circle Alliance 200 live on Checkered Flag Interactive. We're going to have Steve Bonesteel and Mr. Shane Doherty up in the booth tonight. It's going to be a great race. 14 minutes of qualifying left. We will be bringing some coverage very shortly here of the what's going on here at the track during this open qualifying session. But early on, the times, the split times running across the top of your screen, a lot of these drivers within just a tenth of a second so far in this session. It is going to be a very competitive night here at Las Vegas. And last time we were here, we had a stellar race. So here tonight, in the B car, we are definitely looking to have a great race again in the CMC Sportsman Series, race number 2 after last week's Daytona Superspeedway Finanza. We will be bringing you the coverage very shortly. Don't go away. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a good night.
Welcome back here live on Checkered Flag Interactive. We're here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Circle Alliance 200 here for the CMC Sportsman Series of the Upper Edge Racing League. Round 2 of open qualifying currently underway. We got about 3 minutes left, and to much surprise, Andy Glazik on the pole right now, the lone driver below the 31-second bracket. He turned a lap of 30.990, and he is clearly your pole sitter at the moment. Mark Murphy is second. Andrew Fayash the third. Your winner from last week is third. Bronson Stafford fourth. And Austin Hartenfels completes your top 5 in queue right now.
And it's looking like it's going to be a great race here, Shane. A lot of these drivers not far off from each other on their times. A lot of competitive times out there. I mean, the top 20 just 0.2 away from each other. So Las Vegas is a fun race track to race at, especially in these B cars. A lot of grip, a lot of speed. And I'm sure these guys, I mean, last season in the C-Class trucks, they put on a very good show. One thing I would like to note, we do have an in-race reporter here this week, and we should be able to bring him into the booth very quickly here before this race. We'll get his thoughts on what the setup's like, what this race is going to be like, and we'll also let you know on some of the track facts here as we bring them up on your screen. The CFI track facts. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles, the inaugural race in 1996. 131,000 people can jam-pack themselves in here any given weekend, and this race here tonight is 133 laps, approximately 3 to 4 pit stops, depending on cautions and how they play out. Could be anywhere between 2 to 4, I guess. So it's looking to be a good night here, Shane, and very briefly I'll see if I can pull in our in-race reporter, and we will get things rolling here for the Circle Alliance 200.
Alright, as we wait for qualifying to wrap up here, go ahead and alert you of the sponsors that are sponsoring tonight's event here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and we all start with Control Freak. Control Freak is the leading developer of innovative gaming accessories that enhance the gaming experience and give gamers all the skill levels and the competitive edge. That is Control Freak. Upper Edge Media. Upper Edge Media is the official web developer and paint scheme provider of the Upper Edge Racing League. For your very own design, visit upperedgemedia.ca.
And here the drivers are going to be getting down on the grid. We've pulled Austin Hartenfels, our in-race reporter, into the booth here. Austin Hartenfels, you got a copy?
Yep, loud and clear. How's it going?
It's going pretty good here. Looking at these times going into this race, a lot of really good times, really competitive times also we've been noticing. What do you think is going to be going on in this race? Do you think it'll be somewhat similar to the C-Class truck race we had here last season?
Yeah, I think it definitely can be. These cars are definitely really different. A little tighter, bottoming out in 1 and 2. It's sort of going to be a draft fest a little bit, kind of. There's a lot of fast guys in here. There's a lot of really competitive guys up front in the top 10. So I'm I'm really looking forward to see who can come out on top, and I'm really looking forward to driving this track. It's a lot of fun.
How's the setup here this weekend?
It's a little snug, especially in the middle, but you gotta adapt. Definitely let off a little bit in the center just to get it to rotate, and coming off the corner, and definitely the outside line. I think when you're racing someone is preferred. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of passes on the outside, and a lot of side-by-side racing though.
All right, good stuff. You're not starting too far back there. Not at all. Looking like you're only on the third row. And for those of you at home, he is sitting there in the number 29 Kroger's car. So look out for our in-race reporter, Austin Hartenfels, and from us up here in the booth, good luck.
All right, thanks guys.
And as we get ready to roll off the grid here, I guess we can this time to go through some of the starters in tonight's event. On the pole for tonight, Mark Murphy just stole that in the last seconds of Q. He'll be lined up on the outside by Andy Glazik. Starting third will be Andrew Fayash III, and to his outside, Bronson Stafford. Starting fifth, Austin Hartenfels, just chatted with him there, and Sean Powell will start off sixth. Bradley Burke starts seventh, and to his outside, Trevor Apollo. Dalton Alexander will start ninth. Bruce Ackerman complete your top 10. Chris Scala 11th. Corey Hoover 12th. 13th, Joseph Thies. 14th, Leandro Schmidt. 15th, Mark Rapolo. 16th, Shane Terrian. Mario Gerard starts 17th. 18th, Tom Bourne. 19th, Ryan Dyson. And 20th, Stuart Lebosco. 21st, Mike Finlayson. 22nd, Mike Tellier. 23rd, Kleber Camilo Gomez. 24th, Michael Thompson. 25th, Brandon Demuriak. 26th, Elaine Krasinski. And it looks like 27th is going to be Duljan Boldrin.
And here as they make their way through 3 and 4, the pace car will be pulling off here for the second time this season for the Circle Alliance 200. Here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Shane, it's going to be a good race here. The pace car will be pulling off momentarily. There it goes. Everyone looks to Mark Murphy on the front row. A little bit of blinking mid-pack. And we are away. Here we go. Green, green, green.
Good start by Mark Murphy. Everyone else is side by side as they head on into turn one. Looks to be clean so far as everyone spreads out up front.
The first top 4 right there, they are single file as they make their way around the corner. Most of the field trying to get single file in a hurry here.
Yeah, we got some great racing through the middle part of the pack as we actually see the 9 back there. That's Trevor Rapolo for the 9th spot being challenged by Corey Hoover and plenty others. He gets a little bit loose, hangs on to it. A lot of action up here around 10th. And oh, big crash. The 5 car gets turned out onto the wall. 31's in it. Mike Tellier's flipping. Huge crash.
Driver still piling into it there going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, 54, Stuart Lebosco. I see he's got damage. He's down there beneath the apron. It just looks like Joseph Thies got turned there. And, oh, Michael Thompson all the way in the back got in that as well. This is going to be a huge wreck to start off tonight's event.
Definitely not how he wanted to start his night. Taking a look at what happened to Joseph Thies, he just comes up a little bit there on the number 38 and drives himself right up into the wall, collecting quite a few drivers here on lap 3 of 133. Really quick, we're going to step away for a quick commercial break. Don't go away, we'll be right back for the green flag. And we are back here at Las Vegas, coming to 2 to go here to get the green flag after a pretty large lap 2 incident here at Las Vegas. Very tough break for some drivers getting caught up in it. Mid-pack, a couple drivers collected into the outside wall on their way back down. Some people just did have nowhere to go, and they unfortunately piled right in. But right now, Mark Murphy in that number 48, the Circle Alliance Mustang, out in front of the field with number 77 on his outside. Last week's winner in that number 77, Andrew Fash III.
And Andrew's doing a good job there. He said last week after his win he wanted to get off to a good start here in this series, and here he is in second position. He did start third, so he has gained one position on the evening, and he looks to be fast here. See if he can back up what he did last week here tonight.
And for those of you watching at home, we do apologize. We're having some camera issues still. iRacing released an update for our servers and all of the whatnot, the client, and it is not cooperating properly with our broadcasting system. So we're trying to work that out as this race continues. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Getting ready to go back green. There is quite a few cars down a lap. In fact, I count 6 cars that lost a lap under that caution. Includes Joseph Thye, Shane Tyrion, Stuart Lebosco, Tom Bourne, Mike Tellier, and Michael Thompson, all involved in that turn 3 lap 2 wreck. And Mike Tellier has pulled that car behind the wall, and he is done for the evening. Tough break for those guys early on, but if that happened once, it might happen again here. We'll see on this restart. There we go, green flag out in the air. Mark Murphy, great start there. Andrew Fair's kind of caught sleeping. So we see Austin Hartenfels try to go to the outside there. You also got Andy Glazik right in the mix, but looks like Mark's going to try and check out here as they get through turns 1 and 2. We see the 2-car Bradley Burke, couple cars as well. The 1 car gets into the wall. It's Dalton Alexander. A lot of guys hitting the wall in turn 2, 3 wide into turn 3 in the back half of the pack. I mean, all the action's back here around 10th, it seems like. Looks like just about the top 10 starting to space themselves out, form single file around this track. Mark Murphy has been caught by Andrew Fayaz, joined by Austin Hartenfels, Andy Glazik, and Bronson Stafford. Bronson had a tough week last week, went several laps down early, never was able to recover. He's back there in the white and light blue Husky Tools Home Depot Ford Mustang, and he is having a top 5 run here to start tonight. We see Andrew Fash taking a look to the inside. Mark slides up the hill a little bit. Here comes Andrew and shuts the door on him on the front straightaway, lap 11. Pretty early on, so we'll have to see if they continue to do that. But now Mark's moved up to the middle groove, and he's going to try and steal that line away and maybe keep this lead.
And looking now, Andrew Fayash going underneath Mark Murphy there for the lead as they come across the line. The 77 will come close, but he will not lead that lap. But look now, our in-race reporter, the number 29, and the caution comes out. We've got a wreck.
Yeah, it looks like we got a crash in the back, and it involves the 7 of Bradley Burke and the 4 of Leandro Schmidt. Or actually, no, not Bradley Burke. That is Bruce Ackerman. My apologies. As they have very similar cars, but 2 torn-up race car series. We just go back under caution on lap 12.
Taking a look, going back almost half of a lap, he is racing there right behind Dalton Alexander. Ryan Dyson on his back bumper. Ryan's going to go down towards his inside in 3 and 4. The number 7 stuck up on the outside. Ryan clips the apron a little bit, comes up, gets the 7. 7 goes up into the wall, collects the number 4, who collects the number 60. Number 7 and the number 04 get the worst damage of it. So that's definitely unfortunate for them. Only 13 laps in this race, and they're pretty much done.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do there if you're Leandro, Elaine. You just can't go anywhere. And Bruce can't go anywhere either. He got tagged. He couldn't slow the car down. He nailed the wall. And the angle that wall is at is just so weird because it shot his car right back into traffic. And there's obviously nowhere to go when you're right around 10th or 12th and you got plenty of other cars behind you. So it's a tough break for those guys, but here we are once again under caution.
And definitely interesting to see how quickly Andrew Fayash started to make his moves there on the leader Mark Murphy in that 48. As long as Austin Hartenfels rolled up there, they were battling for the lead. Austin was able to get up there very quickly, and he looked to be pretty strong there in that number 29. Qualifying only gets you so far when everyone's so close on time. Austin, of course, he just came within points last season of winning the championship. So we know that he's skilled, we know that he's fast, so definitely got to watch out for him this entire race, but he made his way all the way up towards the lead in 3rd place, and we'll see how things go once we get back under green here at Las Vegas in the Circle Alliance 200. here as we continue to sort out some of the issues we are having connecting to the iRacing cameras and whatnot. The pace car lights are off, and we're in hopes that everything is set and ready to go as Mark Murphy is on the inside for another restart here on lap 16 of 133. Shane, let's see if that number 48 can continue on, but I would like to note really quick, this will be Shane Terrian's first DNF in the Upper Edge Racing League. Unfortunate for him, but the green flag is out. We are away.
A good streak for Shane there. And unfortunately, hard to believe he went the entire truck season without having a DNF. That is a good job to him, and he has nothing to be ashamed of that. Tough break for him tonight. Back under green, Mark Murphy continues to lead. He has led every lap so far, but we got a change for second as Austin Hartenfeld slides in front of Andrew Fayash, and he has now got his sights set on the lead here as here comes Bronson Stafford as he's also up to fourth.
And looking now, the number 29 underneath Mark Murphy coming off of 1 and 2. Is he going to be able to make the pass? No, not yet, but the number 77, Andrew Fayash, will also get the run off the corner. It's going to be a battle for the lead here, 4-car battle.
Yeah, Mark using that outside to defend the lead, and here comes Andrew Fayash the third using the outside, and he's actually going to march his way right around Austin Hartenfeld. So the outside's starting to be the preferred groove to try and battle somebody, as you actually see some guys move up to the middle lane through 1 and 2. That's an interesting surprise.
Things getting single file here towards the front of the field. The number 48's there. Mark Murphy still leading this race. The 77 wants to chase him down. But, I mean, it's just so hard. These guys are just so equal. Everyone seems to be so fast towards the front and pretty much throughout the entire field. So it's going to be a battle all night long for track position. And we'll probably see some tire strategy come into play at some point. Maybe take 2 tires on the last green flag, short pit, something along those lines here as the 77 makes another look down low in the 48. Not going to be going anywhere with that. The 29 will also get that run there off that middle line. He's going to be going side by side across the start-finish line there. Austin Hartenfeld's on the outside of the 77, Camaro on the inside. Will he be able to make the pass as they go through 1 and 2? The 77 bobbles a little bit, tiny bit of contact. No problem. Everyone keeps it straight coming off the corner.
Yeah, definitely a close quarters racing there, and all this action is allowing Mark Murphy to stretch just a little bit more of that lead, up to a couple car lengths now, as it was a little bit less than that before, but it's pretty much your top 3 and then a couple of guys and then another pack. So we're starting to see everyone break apart and just starting to see who's bringing it early on. I know we're only lap 22 of 133, but so far I'm pretty convinced that Mark Murphy's got the car to beat tonight.
Austin Hartenfeld's hanging strong there on that outside line. But Andrew Fayash is not going to be giving up easy there in that 77. But this is going to allow the drivers behind them to start reeling them in and work their way up towards the lead. You see 3 drivers right there, the 20, the 19, and the 29. These guys moving towards the front there, and not the 29. I do believe it's the 33 there, Corey Hoover. Not the 27 from last season for Corey, as they go side by side again. The 77's down low. It looks like he will just do the slide job as the 29 just pretty much lets him go by. Andrew Fayash takes over second place for now. We'll see if Austin Hartenfeld's and that 29 will be able to take it back.
Yeah, those two have been flipping back and forth. Seems like one gets a run and goes by, and then the other gets to run the next turn and goes by. I really don't know who's got the better car at this point. Right now, advantage Andrew Fayash the third as he's up to second, and now Austin's pushing him down the back straightaway. So I think he's pretty content with just riding behind and seeing if they can set sight here on Mark Murphy, because he's starting to pull away. And I think if these guys ride in single file line, we'll get to see exactly who has the faster car.
as we go up into the blimp to take a look at just how large that gap is between these guys towards the front of the pack. This really has not allowed Mark Murphy to get as far away as I thought it would have. So that's definitely interesting there. But that battle for second continues, and this battle for third is starting to heat up. Corey Hoover in the Hunt Brothers Pizza car is not going to let off easily as we look another time through the battle in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and right there in fourth, right along with them is Bronson Stafford, and he's having a pretty good run, as I documented before. Had a tough week last week, qualified in the fourth spot, qualified in the fourth spot, currently running in the fourth spot. He was seventh in practice, so overall a good so far day for Bronson Stafford, and he has to just continue what he's doing and just go the rest of this season and forget about Daytona. Everyone's going to have a bad week in the standings. And ultimately a champion gets up after a defeat and goes out there and tries to do better the next week, time and time again, and Bronson Stafford definitely doing that right now, running fourth.
Taking a look a little bit towards the rear of the field, or at least mid-pack, the 08 of Douglas Beard. He's trying to work on the number 32 of Michael Finlayson. Not having too much luck there. Dalton Alexander's starting to reel him in that number 1 car, as the 08 seems to be struggling with that pass in the mid-corner. This will allow Dalton to jump up on the high side as the car behind him's going around. We've got a car going around on the backstretch. Caution out. Chris Scala.
It's 88 Chris Scala, as you said, Steve, and he's actually going to stop it on the bottom part of the track and get it refired. It looks like he smacked the wall there off turn 2, and it got his car loose and spun it right around, thankfully not in anyone's way. And that wasn't another major incident. 2 big accidents because of cars hitting the wall, coming back down into traffic. Definitely this one just a single car accident, so that's just good to see here. But nonetheless, we are under our third caution.
With that being said, we are going to step away one more time here early on in this race, make sure all of our camera issues are worked out, and we will be back for the green flag and an update on what happened and who went down pit road. Don't go away for Checkered Flag Interactive's coverage of this Circle Alliance 250, or 200. And we're back here on Checkered Flag Interactive for the Circle Alliance 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The number 60 is looking to be staying out here in front of Andrew Fash, and that number 77. A couple of these drivers did take to it, and a couple of people said they didn't mean to do it. So that's going to be interesting here on this green flag run. 31 laps into this race. About a fuel run is anywhere between 40 to 45, 48 laps. And if you're really risking it, you might be able to go to about 50. But here we are, the number 60 out in front of the field. We're going to have to see how he makes his way around this track on this restart. It's going to be interesting for sure, Shane. So we'll see how that goes. Our in-race reporter is up, the fourth, Austin Hartenfels. He was almost getting towards the lead that last run, then started battling really hard with Andrew Fash. He ended up dropping back a little bit there. Definitely still up towards the front. A lot of racing left. We're not even a quarter of the way through this race here tonight. Getting close, but we're not quite there, so it's going to be a good rest of the race. We will be getting the one to go this time by, and we'll be going back to green flag racing.
Yeah, just to update you, Mike Tellier, Tom Bourne, Shane Terrian, and Michael Thompson officially listed as out of the race. There are currently 23 cars in the lead lap out of the 24 still running. Stuart Lebosco is the single car off the lead lap. He is one lap down. Elaine Krasensky is going to restart as your leader after staying out under this caution. He was involved in the wreck earlier on where he got into the front of Bruce Ackerman, and that car's got some front-end damage. But we'll see what Elaine Krasensky can do there in clean air.
If anything, I know he might not be too happy with the two-tire strategy, especially with the rest of the field being basically all on four. So, if anything, this will be a good test for him to see, hey, you know, I'm out here, I took two tires, will it be good, will it be bad later in the race? Maybe make a strategy call and get a top 5 just by taking two. We'll see how it works on this restart. Chances are we'll probably have a short run because cautions do breed cautions, even here on iRacing. And, of course, anyone that's ever iRaced before definitely can confirm that. But here we are. Pace car lights are off. They will be diving down pit road, and we'll be getting the green flag on lap 33 with 101 laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway left for racing. It's going to be a good restart, like I said. A lot of people going to be moving around. Green flag is out.
So far, good start for Elaine as they barrel down into turn number 1. He's got some separation. It's a nice arc there and doing a nice job there. Was not expecting him to stay up there, but he has so far as we go back down the back straightaway. But he has a lot of hungry drivers behind him as here comes Mark Murphy to the bottom.
He's hanging strong there on that inside line. Mark Murphy got a little bit of a tap, I think, from Andrew Fash going through the corner. If Andrew's going to look to his outside in that number 77, he is going to try and make something happen here. These drivers bottlenecking behind him. It's going to be an absolute melee going down in a 1 and 2. Andrew Fash in the 77 coming up on the back bumper to number 60. 48 down low. The Circle Alliance on his hood. These guys are going to go drag racing down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4. The 48 on the inside line, driving it in the corner really hard. He's going to be able to make the pass on the number 60. He will come off the leader.
Yeah, that was a hard-fought battle, though, with Elaine Krasensky. He definitely is hanging up there a lot better than I thought he would. And he's still up here fighting for the second spot.
But things are about to get pretty hairy, I do believe. He is up there on that high line, holding him up just a little bit. You need to remember that the high line is a little bit faster once you get your car dialed in. He is struggling there on the high side, looking like it might be 3 wide with Andrew Fash in the middle. Andrew being held up a lot here. This is not good for him. He drops in behind Corey Hoover in that number 33. Bronson Stafford's right behind him in that number 20 with the Home Depot on his hood. And it is getting sketchy. Here's the number 60s all the way up by the wall. The number 99 or number 19, Andy Glazik looking low. He's not going to make that happen. But now Andy Glazik's got a car going low on him. Bradley Birkin, the number 2. This is an absolute huge mess of cars just battling it out for every position they can when they're on fresh tires and when they're right by each other.
Yeah, speaking of Andy Glazik, what a nice run for him. This is only his second race in the Upper Edge Racing League. Made his debut last week, got a top 5, I believe he got, carrying that Chevy Camaro, and doing a nice job here in his second start. First start on a mile and a half, and he's up here running 6th. That's a dang good job for Andy Glazik, and he can continue this up. He will be considered a major threat for this championship because it's no longer just a couple races. It's 23 races, folks. This does not end until spring. So consistency is what I believe is ultimately going to win this championship.
Looking towards the front, Austin Hartenfels is making a run towards Mark Murphy in the lead. Just last lap, he was half a tenth faster there, so he is definitely hauling the mail there in that number 29 Kroger Camaro, trying to catch up to the leader and see if he can make something happen here as they come to lap 39.
Yeah, I don't know. I've yet to see someone challenge Mark legitimately for this lead. Ever since the start of the race, he's just been the car to beat regardless of he's got clean air in front of him or if he has a car in front of him. He really hasn't had a car in front of him all race because he's led every lap, but Austin's getting a little bit better run into this entry of the corner through the center. I think Mark's using that outside lane, trying to get some runoff and prevent Austin from sucking up to the rear bumper of that 48 Ford Mustang, but it looks like Austin's using that draft and is closing in a little bit.
The draft doesn't play too much into effect here, but it does do just enough to get you through the corner, maybe half a mile an hour faster than the driver in front of you, takes the downforce off the nose, allows you to turn just a little bit better there. The number 29 is really coming off the corner strong with that cut that he's got coming off the corner, so that's allowing him to really work his way up towards the back bumper of Mark Murphy, and now he is practically within arm's length, and it's only going to be a matter of time before he gets his car up side by side. Corey Hoover in third, though, is just ready for these guys to start battling along with Andrew Fayosh. He knows if they start battling, they will reel them in and be right there for the battle for the lead.
I don't think Mark is going to lose this lead, though, if he runs that higher groove through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's just really hard to get a run on a guy when you got him on the top side, coming off the corner. That outside lane proves to be the lane to be in when you get off the corner. So we're going to see if Austin, if eventually he does get to Mark, can make that pass on the inside, as here he goes to the inside, because I know Mark's not going to give him that outside.
We jump up in the chopper to get a bird's eye view of this battle for the lead. The 48's up by the wall. He's going to get that run off the corner, just like you said there, Shane. The 29 will fall back. The 33, though, will pull in right on the back bumper of the 29. These guys are teammates, RCA Racing. The 29, the 33, the 28, and the 19. Here as they get the run off the corner, the 29 will look low on the 48 once again. Corey Hoover just sitting there trying to figure out which lane he wants to follow through with. For the time being, he will jump down to the low line, drift up a little bit to get that run off the corner, but the 29, Austin Hartenfels, not relinquishing that battle for the low line. He will dive down all the way towards the grass and try and get down there in 1 and 2. He's going to be on that low line. Corey Hoover on his outside in the Hunt Brothers Pizza Camaro. He's going to be making a pass on the outside here. The 29 falling back in the third. Corey Hoover right there is going to be getting up to that back bumper, and just like that, Corey Hoover went from fourth all the way up to second and possibly getting up into the lead as Austin Hartenfels has Andrew Fayosh on his inside now.
Yeah, that was just a move Austin was trying to make work on the inside. Didn't work. The outside lane prevails, and he had his teammate Corey Hoover, as you documented, Steve, go around him on the outside, take second. It'll be interesting to see what Corey does here. Now he's in second. Will he ride behind Mark and just kind of let some laps go by, or will he make a legitimate attempt on that inside line to try and take this lead? Because as far as I know, Mark Murphy's pretty unbeatable when he's on the outside line.
Looking back in the pack, we have a 3-car battle here between the 27, the 3, and the 7 of Bruce Ackerman. Bruce Ackerman running a lot better than I thought he would be with that damaged car. Struggling, though, to hold that position, but we've got the number 3 of Mark Rapolo running on the inside of the number 27. Mario there on that outside doing everything he can to hold that position, but I think Mark Rapolo there is going to make the pass there. He will be moving up into 16th position. And then I would like to also look at Ryan Dyson, who is now coming up on Elaine Krasinski, who took 2 tires on that last stop. He is now getting passed on that inside line. Ryan Dyson did get involved in an earlier incident. He drifted up the track and just collided just a little bit with the number, I do believe it was number 7 there. So he's got some right side damage in that number 28. But there he is making the pass, moving into 13th, and now he's going to chase down Michael Finlayson, who is in 12th.
Yeah, and all those guys are about 5 seconds off your leaders. The leaders are the top 4 cars, I should say. And they have pulled the field by 2 seconds, and it continues to extend each and every lap. Just seems like they are the top 4. Mark, Corey, Austin, and Andrew, the top 4 drivers that are putting themselves into serious consideration to be the winners of tonight's event.
As we watch this 4-car battle for the lead, it is starting to get pretty close between all 4 of these drivers. Andrew Fayash kind of tagging back just a little bit. I mean, Corey Hoover is just inches from Mark Murphy's bumper at time going in and out of these corners. Austin Hartenfeld is also following his teammate there in that number 29. So it is definitely getting tense for the lead. Mark Murphy's doing everything he can, though, to hang on to it. Mark Murphy, he has really probably been the most improved driver in the Upper Edge Series. Wouldn't you agree there, Shane?
Yeah, he really has. And we noticed in the Truck Series, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season, even in the Truck Series, he got a lot better. But I don't think he's ever sat on the pole and led the first 50 laps, now 51 laps this time by. Mark's having a career night, I'd say, and he would love nothing more but to go to victory lane here in only the 2nd race of the season.
A lot of drivers really are stepping it up here in the B car. I mean, last season it was a 2-car battle for the championship. For the majority of the season, it was Austin Hartenfeld and Corey Hoover who's battling for 2nd and 3rd right now. But this season, I see easily 7, 8, maybe even 9 drivers that could easily battle it out for the championship throughout all 23 races, Shane. It's definitely going to be a great season. And we're only 2 races in here at the Circle Alliance 200 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Pretty impressive racing here tonight. Couple big cautions, a couple issues on our side with our cameras, but hey, it's been an eventful night so far out here in the desert. And for this 2nd race of the season, Mark Murphy is sailing off to the lead, taking these guys to school. Austin Hartenfeld's trying to close in on him, coming to lap 54 here.
Yeah, it's like all of a sudden Mark turned on some extra horsepower and is thus pulled away from your your other top 4 cars, technically the 2nd through 4th. But nonetheless, Mark is by far the fastest car on the track. He is he's racking up those fantasy points if there ever was a fantasy game for this series. But he's doing a good job out there up front, and just the consistency through the run. That's something especially with younger guys in this B car. It's a more advanced car compared to the truck. Tire management is so much more important in this car because, as Austin documented to start this event tonight, it is a little bit tighter and it is going to require you to save that right front a lot more compared to the truck. And Mark doing a nice job of balancing all that out, getting as much speed out of that car as possible, is doing a great job of that. He's outrunning Austin Hartenfeld, Corey Hoover, Andrew Fayash. I mean, those are the top 2 in the point standings, and Andrew Fayash, that's a pro driver you're outrunning. So Mark's doing a fantastic job out there tonight, outrunning some competition that I don't think he ever thought he could.
And as that battle goes on, we look back for the battle for about 9th to 12th. We've got these 4 drivers on your screen. The number 10, Sean Powell, just making his way around Dalton Alexander in that number 1, who has now got the 08 Douglas Beard on his inside. Dalton struggling a little bit on this long run. Looks like he might have wore out that right front, but he's working, doing the best he can to stay towards that top 10, hoping for a caution. We're going to have to see how this comes out here, but things are getting a little bit tense here for these positions mid-pack as the lead is starting to stretch out a little bit as Austin Hartenfels makes the pass somehow.
Yeah, I was just going to say, last lap, kind of jinxed Mark, I guess there. Sorry about that. Just as I finished talking, he smacked the wall off turn 2. That car's got right side damage. He loses the lead. Almost lost second to Corey Hoover. Had to pull a block on him and was able to do that and has thus kept the second spot. So we're going to see if he still has the speed with that right side damage to maybe take away this lead again. He is definitely still fast because he's still running up there in second.
And you are watching the CMC Sportsman series here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Crescent Moon Contractors, based out of North Carolina. Crescent Moon Contractors is the official sponsor of the Upper Edge CMC Sportsman series. Professional contracting services are provided to numerous clients, and Crescent Moon Contractors is proud to be involved with Upper Edge, bringing this series to you each and every week, helping pay for the broadcast, helping these drivers to not have to pay a single penny out to participate here in this great league as we come towards halfway within about 10 laps. It's going to be getting pretty close here. This race is also brought to you by Upper Edge Media, the official web developer and paint scheme provider for the Upper Edge Racing League. For your very own design, head over to www.upperedgemedia.ca.
Starting to see that damage affect Mark Murphy's dropped to 4th and is thus starting to lose these top 3 as Austin Hartenfels has kept the lead but has not pulled away from Corey Hoover or I should say Andrew Pash the 3rd. So they are all within a second of each other still, but all of a sudden these RCA guys of Corey Hoover and Austin Hartenfels showing exactly why they were the best drivers in this league last season in the Truck Series. So they're now 1-2 here in Las Vegas.
And from my standpoint, I really didn't expect anything less from these guys. They're just so consistent, so good every single week. 29 out there in the lead. That is where he is most comfortable on a racetrack. Some people say they just don't want to be in trouble. Well, Austin Hartenfels, he'd tell you every single time, I like being in the lead. I like being out front. I like racing for it. A lot of times you get those guys that say, I like to, Kevin Harvick, I like to be, hanging around 10th, 15th place, and then I like to surprise him. Austin Hartenfels, Corey Hoover, complete polar opposites there as Corey clips the wall almost coming off the corner. Yeah, they just immediately think, well, hey, I started 8th, let's be first in 5 laps. And you know what? They'll do it. I'd say half the time, and they'll do it cleanly, too. They don't do it, and they don't make those aggressive moves. Somehow, these drivers just know what they're doing. When they want to get out to the front, they make their way there.
Yeah, those are just qualities that we have seen from them time and time again, but I want to tell you one heads up move there as we actually got a caution. Never mind.
And that's going to trap the 27 on pit road as Shayna, if you could figure out what that caution is for, the 27 Mario just now coming down pit road. Unfortunate for him, he will get caught a lap down. Tough break.
Yeah, looks like the caution lap 63 into turn number 1. Joseph Thies, engine let go on that Camaro. He had been involved in the first crash, got some severe front end damage, and just when the RPMs were at the highest they were on the straightaway, the engine lets go, and that's a tough break for Joseph. He was so looking forward to doing well tonight, and he was looking to have a decent night until he got wrecked there early on, and finally the engine gave up on him, and he will probably be done for the evening.
And there you see it on your screen. Number 5 just blew that motor up on the high side, definitely driving a very damaged car. Tough break, but this is going to make things interesting. We were getting very close to having some green flag pit stops with about 15 laps. That will change the strategies up, so now we are under caution once again.
Yeah, and like to see as you said, Steve, 27 of Mario Gerard pitted. He will have to take a wave by to get back in the lead lap, as all your leaders come to pit road here. Interesting to see if Mark Murphy repairs that right side damage, because he was running up there in 4th spot, but it had been affecting him. He had fallen off the pace a little bit compared to what he was running earlier, so we'll see if they can fix that damage. But it looks like 4 tires and fuel for everyone, and looks like a good stop for Andrew Fayash, and he looks like he will take the lead off pit road. In the developing story, Corey Hoover speeding on pit road. Last segment, that's the one with the line that determines where you are off pit road. Tough break for Corey, but we are just at halfway, so he's going to have to come from, I believe, 20th place. That's a tough break for him.
Yeah, that penalty is going to be painful. It's going to be costly. He's going to have to be very careful here, working his way up through the field. He's a little bit faster than the majority of these drivers back there, as he's going to be right in line behind his teammate, it looks, maybe. But he will continue to drop back with the EOL that he received. But the thing is, he's going to be caught in the hornet's nest for this entire run, probably. And if we get a caution, it's going to just bring the hornet's nest back together and beat it a little bit. So it's going to be a very tense situation here for Corey Hoover in that number 33 Hunt Brothers Pizza Camaro as he works his way back through the field.
Yeah, I think if we get a caution, quick caution here, I expect Corey Hoover to get off sequence with the rest of the leaders, and what that means is if the leaders were to come down pit road, I would expect Corey to either stay out or not take 4 tires, because the chances he gets through 19 more cars and back up at least into the top 5 is pretty doubtful without some assistance either by a caution or a strategy call. So I think for Corey Hoover, just keep the nose clean and just try and play this out to your advantage, and maybe see if you can get some track position back here before the end of the race.
And again, we're here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, 1.5 miles. The inaugural race was a little while ago, one of the newer tracks on the NASCAR circuit, believe it or not. 1996. Any given weekend, you can fit over 130,000 people into this track. And this race here tonight, we are half the normal NASCAR Sprint Cup distance here in the B car for 133 laps, which comes out to just about 200 miles. Our in-race reporter, the number 29, Austin Hartenfels here, will be on the outside for this restart. We will be riding on board on the roll cage here in the gyro cam, and the number 29, Austin Hartenfels, and that Kroger Camaro will be on the outside. Andrew Fayash here on this restart. RCA Racing making a strong showing here. Unfortunately, Corey Hoover did receive that penalty, so he will be starting towards the rear of the field. At the rear of the field, that is Shane, as the pace car lights are off. We will be getting ready to take the green flag.
Yeah, getting ready to take the green flag. Andrew Fayash III will be your leader here on this restart, and his outside will be Austin Hartenfels. Andy Glazik, Trevor Rapolo have taken advantage of others' misfortunes, and they have made it up to the 3rd and 4th spots respectively, and Mark Murphy, as we said, led a lot of the laps early on. He is in the 5th spot.
As we go on board the gyro cam, we watch for the pace car to pull off. There goes the pace car. And now we wait for the leader to take off as the green flag is in the air. Green flag, here we go.
Good start for everyone else, and it looks like it's going to be pretty single file for the top 5 as Trevor Rapolo's up there trying to use the outside line, but it looks like Bronson Stafford completes that pass, and Austin Hartenfeld's Andrew Fayash starting to gap themselves from the field already.
And here riding with the gyro cam, you can see that Las Vegas is not as smooth as it looks. There are a lot of bumps here around this track. Definitely not as bad as some places. It's probably in between, of course, Kansas just being repaved. It's between Kansas and Kentucky and Chicago when it comes to bumps.
Yeah, definitely. Turns 1 and 2 act completely different, though, compared to 3 and 4. And I think that's why a lot of guys are moving up to the middle group in 1 and 2s, because that inside line, especially close to the white line, is so bumpy. And the setup doesn't comply with the bumps nearly as good as it should, and causes the car to push. And that's not going to help you for the long run, so that's why we've seen these guys move up the groove there as the run went on, and I think it's helping them overall. But Las Vegas is a character of its own. You're not going to find any track just like this place.
Austin Hartenfels and Andrew Fayash in the 77 and 29 have pretty much pulled away by half a second over the number 19 of Andy Glazik. So this battle for the lead is going to start heating up here, and we'll see if that allows Andy Glazik and Bronson Stafford in that number 20 having a good run here tonight. Both of those drivers are, after a pretty rough Daytona for Stafford. He's definitely in need of a good finish here as they go side by side for the lead. Just very briefly, he will have that run down in the 3 and 4, so he will clear Austin Hartenfels once more. But it will be just a matter of time, I do believe, before Austin really gets side by side and starts racing it out. Probably around lap 110. These drivers are all going to be stepping up their game, and if there's a late race caution, expect some incredible racing here for the lead.
And speaking of incredible racing, we're seeing some incredible racing here by Corey Hoover as he's already up to the 14th spot as he's going to complete this pass on the 7 car of Bruce Ackerman. That's going to move him up to 14th. So he has come from 20th to 14th in under 5 laps here on the restart. Look for that 33 Hunt Brothers Pizza Camaro to be near the front, I'd say, before the end of this thing.
Looking at another battle there, Mark Murphy, who led the majority of the beginning of this race. He led 50 laps to get this race kicked off in the Circle Alliance Mustang. He is struggling right now with that right side damage. He went from leading to now he's sitting there in 7th place, not really getting too far, and he's having a tough time in that number 48 after getting that damage. But Sean Powell, another new name to the Upper Edge Racing Series this year, having a solid top 10 run, so he is setting where he needs to be. I look back, Dalton Alexander also having a pretty solid night last season. He had a lot of top 10s to get possible, just to have some very tough luck here at the end. He's got Bradley Burke again looking underneath of him, so this battle for 10th is starting to heat up. And in the back of that picture, guys, you know who's coming, right? That's Corey Hoover in number 33. He's in 14th, and he's coming up on the back bumper of Elaine Krasinski right now.
Yeah, and Corey's making all his passes on the outside line, using that to get the run off the corner and power by some of these slower cars, and he's doing a nice job of doing that. He will take the 13th spot, and now he will set his sights on the number 3 car. And just in front of them, we got a nice battle brewing here. It's the 08 of Douglas Beard, Dalton Alexander, and Bradley Burke. They're almost 3 wide in the turns 1 and 2. See the 1 car, Dalton Alexander, working the outside line.
and you are watching the Circle Alliance 200 here on Checkered Flag Interactive. Steve Bonesteel and Shane Doherty up in the booth. We are 78 laps complete here with just 50 more to go. It has been a pretty good race, just under 50 laps to go. It's been a pretty good race, wouldn't you say, Shane, as we take a second to step away and talk about this race?
Yeah, it has been a pretty good race so far. It's been pretty clean. We've had a couple of big accidents, but those have settled out, and we've seen some pretty good racing here. Las Vegas, always a good track to offer that good racing, especially with the high side being a factor, and the fact that 2 grooves is possible here. It's a very rare occurrence here in iRacing these days, as we've seen the tracks migrate to more and more and more of just 1 groove, and it's usually the bottom line. Now here at Las Vegas, the outside works, and if you have a good car, especially off the corner, you will be able to make up spots, and we're seeing that from Corey Hoover. So he's made literally all his passes on the outside until now. He just took away that 10th spot from Mark Rappola.
And now Corey Hoover will be chasing down Dalton Alexander there in that 1 car. It won't be a matter of time before he's working on him. And I don't believe Corey Hoover will have much of a trouble there. He's going to have a nice gap ahead of him after he gets around Dalton Alexander. So even if there is some trouble in front of him, he'll have some room there. As he comes off the corner, gets high, Mark Rappola will go underneath of him. And Bradley Burke will also look. This is where he needs to be careful not to get in an incident. He might get a little impatient with these drivers. He knows they're a little bit slower than he is. But we're going to have to watch and see how this plays out.
Yeah, I don't think he's too pleased with Mark Rappola there. Pulled the crossover right when he went by him. He knows he's faster than him. Here comes Corey Hoover, and he's going to pinch him pretty hard off the corner. That's understandable. I think Mark said, okay, you can have it, and he's going to let him have it here as he dives to the inside to go by the 1 car. He's working underneath Dalton Alexander. Dalton's got the preferred groove, though, and he will power off the corner in front of Corey.
Shane, as we
They
watch.
make contact with Corey.
Sorry about that, Shane. I was just about to say, doesn't it look like he's starting to struggle here getting around these cars? He might have overheated those right front tires just a little bit, or the right front tire, not that he has more than one. Just as I said that, he started really pinching Dalton. Dalton slips up just a tiny bit, so that was a very tense moment.
Yeah, and Corey's pretty frustrated right now. He knows he's faster than every single one of these cars in front of him. Clearly having problems getting around him there. Dalton Alexander looks a little bit tight off the corner. Slid up a little bit there. They made contact, but Corey having the smarts to know that the car matters more at this point. Brakes, doesn't hit the wall. Is going to lose some time in spot, but that car is still fast, and I still have confidence in him to get up through there. But all this has allowed the Bradley Burke machine, the number 2, I think it's Gunk, Sean, the sponsor of that Camaro. It is, and that's a nice looking car for him. A new paint scheme for him this weekend.
Back up towards the front, Andrew Fayash in that number 77. He has pulled away to a 4/10 of a second lead over Austin Hartenfels and Andy Glazik there. Both of those RCA teammates racing pretty good here tonight, having a good run. The 77, though, is in a very nice place for him. After winning last week's race at Daytona, he is sitting up in front right now. And not too many laps here to go left at Las Vegas for the Circle Alliance 200. So we'll see how this race finishes up, Shane. But I got a feeling we're going to see at least one of these 4 drivers up in the top 4. Andrew Fayash, Austin Hartenfels, Andy Glazik, and even Bronson Stafford. I've got a feeling one of those 4 will be the winner of the race here tonight.
Yeah, this second run compared to the first run is very important to notice because Andy Glazik, Bronson Stafford were nowhere near the times of Andrew Fayash and Austin Hartenfels. But this run, Andy Glazik's glued right to the back bumper of Austin Hartenfels. and Bronson Stafford is within a second and a half of the lead. So those two have stepped up their game here, maybe got a better feel for the car once they got those newer tires on the car, since you can't make adjustments to the setup. Have driven the car a little bit better this run than they did before, and I think Andy's doing a smart thing there, saving his tires, riding behind Austin Hartenfels. Austin, a very experienced driver, as you said, boiled down to the last races of the championship, so he has the potential to run up front each and every week. And Andy, one of the newcomers, doing the right thing you're supposed to do as a rookie, ride behind the veteran and start learning some things here. And they are actually starting to catch Andrew Fash doing that.
As we see another car with a blown motor there. It looks to be Bradley Burke.
Yeah, it looks like he might have gotten to the wall. And speaking of getting into the wall, Dalton Alexander makes a nice save. He almost got pushed directly into the wall. And he made contact with Elaine Krasinski, but we stay green.
Now the battle we are looking at is between Ryan Dyson and Elaine Krasinski. Ryan not really being able to get back up to Elaine's back bumper. He will drop off by half of a second there. Corey Hoover, however, has moved up to 9th place. He has got a little bit of a clearing of 2.5 seconds in front of him. And then Sean Powell, Trevor Rapolo, Mark Murphy even. So he's got a little bit of time to chase these guys down, but he's only got 44 laps to do so.
And speaking of guys up here, how about Duljan Boldrin? I probably never heard of him. This is only his second race in the Upper Edge Racing League, and he started 27th, did not even qualify, unqualified. This race he had to start in the back, did not register a time in qualifying, and he started 27th, as I said. He's up to 5th right now in that number 8 Chevy Camaro, and it's a pretty impressive run. You can come out here and run in the top 5, both him and Andy Glazik. This is only their second race in the league, first race in the 1.5 miles, and they're already showing that they are going to be a very competitive bunch here throughout the season.
And we will take this opportunity to take probably our last commercial break, or at least our last green flag commercial break of the night. Do not go away. We will be right back on Checkered Flag Interactive for the finish of the Circle Alliance 200 here at Las Vegas. Do not go away. Steve Bonesteel and Shane Doherty will return for the end of this race. Thank you for tuning in to Checkered Flag Interactive's coverage of the Circle Alliance 200 at Las Vegas. We would like to remind you that this race is brought to you by multiple sponsors, including London Recreational Contracting. They have gained a remarkable reputation as an industry leader in concrete pool and spa construction by focusing on three key factors: quality, creativity, and outstanding customer service. Their goal is to make you and your product look and feel good. And the battle for the lead is about to start heating up, Shane. The 29 and the 19 have been slowly but surely reeling in as the number 7, Bruce Ackerman, is down on the apron there. Not sure what's going on there, but these two have really caught up with the 77. They are right there, ready to start this battle for the lead as the caution comes out, presumably for that number 7 car sitting down on the apron, who is now on pit road. Shane, as this pit stop commences here, these drivers coming down pit road, what do you think we're going to see? Do you think we'll see any strategy? Elaine Krasinski tried it earlier. I know he wasn't one of the faster cars out on the track and did not work out very well for him. But here, with only about 30 laps to go and the possibility for cautions to breed more cautions, do you think we'll see some of the guys towards the back maybe take 2 tires? What about Corey Hoover, who's only in 6th place right now? That last caution was pretty interesting, Shane. I really don't agree with that being a caution. He was off the racing surface. This is just, I mean, it's good for the racing. I think it's going to make things very interesting for the lead, but I really don't know if that was caution worthy or not.
Yeah, I think Ryan Dyson, one of the league officials, just kind of felt that if cars were getting off the corner and getting loose and having to go maybe toward the apron to save it, that if you got a car stopped down there, that would not be a safe situation to be in, and I guess we had a long run there, so it kind of made sense to throw the caution there and kind of give this race a reset.
And let's see if we can take a chance and get Austin Hartenfels up in the booth here, our in-race reporter. Austin, you got a copy? It's Steve up in the booth.
Yep, loud and clear. How's it going?
It's going pretty good up here. Just taking a look at this racing. What do you feel? What do you think you've got for the leader here? You're going to be starting in the inside line in the second row. Do you think you've got something for Andrew Fayash, your teammate Andy Glazik, and even that number 8, DeJoe Boldrin? He's really been working his way up through the field. He did not even qualify, and he's been pretty fast throughout this entire race.
Yeah, there's a lot of good guys up here. I think I have something for Andrew up here. If we can get settled out here, and then it's just getting to the outside of the car is really important when you're trying to pass him, because the inside is not good for passing. So you're probably going to see a lot of blocking on the straightaways, trying to keep the outside. But I'm really looking forward to it here. See how it plays out. Yeah, the 8's fast. I know Mark Murphy was really fast at the beginning. He's leading all the laps in the beginning. So we'll see how it does. And yeah, and Corey Hoover back there. My teammate, he got a speeding penalty, so that's a shame, but hopefully he can get back up here and we'll have some fun.
Mark Murphy will also be starting pretty much right behind it. Don't look in your mirror. Do you think even with that damage he might be able to get back up there? I know he did lead 50 laps earlier on. He did get that wall pretty good. Most of the drivers up there have no damage. Do you think he might have something, or is it just probably too late?
I think he will. I thought the damage would really kill you here, but it looks like Andy ended up in the 19. He has some damage. I know, and then Mark, he's still up here in the top 5. So we'll see how it goes. And yeah, I think he got something for us. It'll be fun here to watch.
All right, good luck here, Austin, on this restart. Wish you the best.
All right, thanks.
So getting ready here for the restart, Andrew Fayash III going to lead the field down to the green flag. We are under 30 laps to go this time by. Interesting to see who's got the car left and who has the mindset left to take it all here as we are into the later stages of the race.
What a great restart for the 77. Andrew Fayash just pulls right away right there. These guys, everyone trying to get down to the bottom lane, actually. Kind of surprising to me, but we're seeing everyone get down to that bottom lane. Corey Hoover, he is stuck in 9th place right now. He is a ways away. So we look at Austin Hartenfels there in 2nd place. Will he have enough for Andrew Fayash here at the end of the race?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this race goes green to the end. I probably have to pick, though, the 77 Andrew Fayash. He's just had the better car. He's been leading the laps ever since the misfortunes for Mark Murphy and Corey Hoover. So, I don't know. I'm pretty confident in Andrew, but anything can happen at this point as Corey Hoover is 3 wide in the back of my eye down the back straightaway, and he does just get through that.
And he's working on the outside. Dalton Alexander getting loose into the outside wall.
Yeah, he slaps the wall 3 and 4. No caution, obviously, and we stay green.
That was going to be very bad if he would have lost it there. Corey Hoover on the outside of Trevor Rapolo going into 1 and 2. He's got that preferred line. No problem getting clear there. And even Ryan Dyson moving up a little bit here. Ryan has been outside the top 10 and mostly the top 15 this entire race. Now he's up in the top 10 trying to get that spot away from Trevor Rapolo and that number 9 control freak, the green control freak, Camaro, as he blocks him there coming up off the corner. Ryan will dive low. He will try and get that pass done in 1 and 2. Will he be able to do it? I don't really know. If he can do it on that inside line, he will push up the track a little bit towards that middle line. Not quite getting clear, not even coming close.
And it looks like possible internet issues for Corey Hoover are forcing him possibly in a little bit of dilemma here. He's dropped spots. We don't know where he is on the track. This is huge for a guy who was really up there in the championship last season.
And this could be fatal for his championship hopes, especially with such a competitive field up here. Looking at the leaders, Corey Hoover still not back on the track. He is now 2 laps down, assuming he's probably just dropping from the server now.
Yeah, he's experiencing a little bit of a ping problem there. His quality is above 100, which I don't even understand that, but that's beside the point, and Corey's having some issues right now. We're going to Hope he can get it back, but now the sim registers him as 1 lap down. That's not good for Corey. He's having some internet connectivity issues here late in the race.
Really looking at that number 8, Shane. Look at him making his move.
Yeah, Dualgen Boldrin, I am super impressed with him. I'm impressed with Andy Glazik as well, but Dualgen has just surprised me beyond belief. Here's a guy we haven't even heard of, comes into the league last week, doesn't get a good showing. He shows up this week, doesn't even qualify, starts in the back, runs in the back early on. All of a sudden, the last run turns it on, turns into Kevin Harvick, Mr. Where Did He Come From? And he's up to 3rd now, and he is trying to catch Austin Hertenfels and Andrew Fash the 3rd. What a story it would be for Dualgen Boldrin to come away with a top 3 here tonight.
Andy Glazik, though, not giving up easy there. He wants that 3rd spot back, but Bronson Stafford's licking his chop also. Mark Murphy wants to get back into the top 5. We're going to have a 4-car battle here for that 3rd place. No time here. I don't really know how much Mark can do with that right side damage. It's probably just enough to make it so he can't really get the same run that everyone else can get. But he is there in the picture. And there as Dujan gets a little bit closer to the wall. Boldrin's really not pulling away from the number 19, so we're just going to have to see if Andy Glazik's got something for him. But Bronson Stafford getting all the way on the back bumper as Austin Hartenfels continues to close on the leader up in front.
Yeah, Austin's catching him. Just a quick side note on Bronson Stafford. As we documented earlier, a tough week last week. He has been pretty consistently up there in the top 5 all day. He's running back there now in the 5th spot, and he is challenging Andy Glazik, who gets a little bit of a tap, I believe. Saves it. Nice save from the 2nd race guy, and he's going to fall back in the line. Good save there. Yeah, these developments and the heartbreak continue for Corey Hoover. He is now 4 laps down, and now 5 laps down actually to leader Andrew Fash. He's having connectivity issues, as we said. He's still in the server, but he's not showing up, and he's not registering lap times, and that is just as bad as dropping from the server. So tough luck for Corey. It looks like at the worst, he's going to finish 18th in tonight's event, although Chris Scala is still running out there. So he has a possibility to drop to 19th. So that's a tough break for Corey Hoover. He's going to lose quite a lot of spots here in the standings.
As the laps start to count off, these two leaders stepping their game up even more. Both of them running some very fast laps for the amount of laps they have on their tires now. Almost 20 laps on these tires since their last pit stop. And they're really just cranking it off these corners. You see in 3 and 4, Hartenfels running right around the bottom, coming up a little bit higher than the number 77, but it is still a hellacious battle shaping up for this lead. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be Austin Hartenfels, the guy who has been Mr. Consistency in this league so far, and then Andrew Fash III, the newcomer, but one of the most experienced drivers on the service. Out here racing each other, and they have pulled away from Dualgen Boldrin by almost 2 seconds now, and they're separating themselves to be the battle of the races. I believe this time by we're going to get 15 to go, and this is going to shape up to be quite the battle for the ages.
And Corey Hoover is back on my screen now. He is registering 7 laps down there in 18th spot. Definitely a tough break for Corey. It could be a lot worse, of course, but he is not looking good.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Corey, and it's not over for him in the championship, though. 23 races. We're going to have 21 left after the completion of this one tonight. He did have a strong running last week in Daytona. I believe that was a top 6 or 7, could be wrong, but he did have a good showing, so nonetheless, he has decent points. He's not going to drop to, last in the standings. It's not going to happen. So for Corey Hoover fans, don't push the panic button. Long season to go. I would not be concerned, as everyone's going to have bad luck now and again.
But the battle for the lead, Shane, it is about to really heat up. I mean, Austin Hartenfels is right on his back bumper now. He is he's really just looking a lot stronger through the middle of the corners and coming off. He's not getting as close to the wall as the 77 Andrew Fayash is, so this battle for the lead is heating up here. And the number 29 in that Kroger Camaro is looking strong, running right around that seam in 1 and 2. He really pulls off that corner with a good cut. It's going to be a very good battle.
Yeah, I think Austin's kind of being a little bit smart right now, saving those tires. What's the point leading the race when you got almost over 10 laps to go? I mean, the only lap that matters is the final one, so if he can use the strategy, maybe save his tires a little bit here and try and make his way around Andrew Fayash the third a little bit later in this run, he might win, but at the same time, how many laps is going to be needed to get around Andrew if you can? Because you know he's not going to give you the high side, you're going to have to go around him on the inside.
I do recall last season when we came here in the trucks, what it came down to was a big bump from, I do believe, Corey Hoover at the end of the race to come away with his win. Will we see that again tonight? I mean, something similar to what we saw last season, maybe even something similar to what we saw in the Sprint Cup Series with Brian Newman. I mean, it's not a short track, but that does not mean bumpers are off limits.
Yeah, and quite not the implications tonight, I don't think, though, that we saw Sunday in the NASCAR race. But what I would say that tonight is very important still, because a win is a win. That doesn't mean anything for the championship. It's still by points. But getting a win means a couple extra championship points, and that's huge. Come if you do have a couple bad weeks, as per Corey Hoover's sake. And if Corey, in the coming races, were to go out here, dominate, win the race, he would get some extra bonus points for doing that, and that would really help him recover from a bad night like tonight.
Up in the chopper, looking at this battle for the lead, coming to 10 laps to go here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Circle Alliance 200 in the CMC Sportsman Series Crescent Moon Contractors. 10 laps to go here. Corey Hoover nowhere to be seen after that lag issue, so the battle is on for the lead between RCA and then Andrew Fayash.
As Austin Hartenfels creams the wall in turn 2. That is not what he needed. That is going to be a tough look.
And that will pretty much seal the deal for Austin Hartenfels after creaming the wall there. You saw it on your screen. Hard lick. Probably even knocked a toe out on that car, wouldn't you think, Shane?
Well, he did hit it pretty straight, you would say, or square. And maybe it's okay, but I mean, he's still going to have some fender damage. It's going to affect his straightaway speed. We saw it before with Mark Murphy. If you're Austin Hartenfels, this is just a nightmare, because now he's got to worry about Dualdrin Boldrin, who's now only about a second behind him, and then you got Bronson Stafford and Mark Murphy. So definitely, Austin's got a little bit more trouble on his hands than trying to get back to Andrew Fayash at the moment.
Although, even with that damage, he's not giving up easy. He is not really falling off from the pace, but he's definitely not gaining anything on Fayash. So it's definitely a very hard break for him, but even if second or third is the worst he finishes, I think he'll be happy with that. It could be just like Corey Hoover, who ends up in 18th, 19th, when he belonged towards the top 10 or even top 3.
Yeah, but these last couple laps, Dualdrin Boldrin has just been turning it up 0.2 of a second faster the last time by than Austin Hartenfels, 1/10 of a second faster than Andrew Fayash the third. So he's actually cutting into that lead, and that's not good for Austin Hartenfels. There is a strong possibility that Dualdrin could get to Austin before the end of this race. Got a lap car in front of Andrew Fayash. That is Douglas Beard in the 08, and he is going to stay to the inside, I believe, as they are not quite at him yet. It's going to be about a lap or so before they catch him, as he is running that inside line.
And coming to 5 laps to go, Andrew Fash can see it, he can taste it. Getting 2 wins in a row here in the CMC Sportsman Series is not probably going to be something easy to do, and you probably won't see it too many times this season, if at all. The battle for second is heating up, though. Boldrin has caught him.
Yeah, here he goes to the inside, but what I'm interesting to see is this lap car coming up. Is this going to impede the battle here for second place? Where will this lap car go if Boldrin still has to fight? He makes the pass, shuts the door. Nice move, and he's going to take that second spot without a challenge.
4 laps remaining here in the Circle Alliance 200. The laps ticking off the board. This battle for second, the best battle on the track, and it's a tough break for Austin Hartenfels. It's a tough break for RCA Racing all around. Andy Glazik there in 6th, so a solid finish for him. But Ryan Dyson coming just out inside the top 10 in 9th, and if that's where he finishes, I guess it's a solid day for him. But Corey Hoover, heartbreak for him. He's stopped driving his car. He's out of the car. He will finish 19th here tonight.
Yeah, 3 laps to go that time by. 2.5 laps to go down the back straightaway for Andrew Fash, the third, already a 2.5 lead. All he's got to do is bring that car home and bring it home without nailing the wall or doing something in some case. But full faith in him, he should bring this home here. 2 laps to go.
Andrew Fash looking pretty smooth here on these final laps, these final corners of this race. That 77 Camaro looking to get through turns 3 and 4. Very clean, not pushing it, no reason to. He can let off half a second these next 2 laps and still come away with just a quarter of a second of a lead here. So this final lap, don't expect Fash to be turning the best of lap times. He will just be taking it easy here through 1 and 2. Boldrin, though, is sitting there in second. If that is where he finishes, and I do believe it will be, that is a great finish for Boldrin. As you said many times, Shane, he didn't even put a qualifying time down.
Yeah, and he has been catching Andrew, but it doesn't matter. He's going to come home second because Andrew Fash III is going to open up the CMC Sportsman Series by taking 2 out of the first 2 races in the Upper Edge Racing League. The Circle Alliance 200 belongs to Andrew Fash III.
As he drifts it through 1 and 2 and dumps it up into the wall. Doesn't matter now. Race is over. Congratulations there, Andrew Fash. He's got that 2 in a row here. And the car's smoking. Not from tires, but hey, it works. Good job, Fash, as these drivers come across the line. Boldrin in 2nd, Hartenfels in 3rd, Stafford in 4th, Murphy in 5th, who did lead quite a few laps at the start of the race. He will not lead the most laps with Andrew Fash leading 68. Then you've got Andy Glazik in 6th, Sean Powell 7th, Trevor Rapolo 8th, Ryan Dyson 9th, Finlayson in 10th, and then I'll toss it off to you, Shane.
Yeah, finishing 11th here tonight is Mark Rapolo, 12th Elaine Krasinski, 13th Mario Gerard, 14th Brandon Demuriak, 15th Dalton Alexander, 16th Stuart Lebosco, 17th belonged to Douglas Beard, Chris Scala brought it home in 18th, Corey Hoover 19th, 20th Bruce Ackerman, 21st Bradley Burke, Leandro Schmidt comes home in 22nd, Cleaver Camilo Gomez comes home in 23rd, 24th Joseph Thies, 25th Michael Thompson, 26th Shane Terrian, 27th Tom Bourne, and Mike Tellier rounds out the field tonight.
And I just pulled our in-race reporter up into the booth. Austin Hartenfels, Steve Bonesteel, and Shane Doherty up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, 10-4.
Well, you weren't able to come away with the win there. Coming off the corner, you just creamed that wall. What happened there?
Just trying too hard. Yeah, just ran out of room off the turn 2. It gets pretty tight up there. I think probably trying too hard to get to his bumper. I think I had it. I probably had enough to run with him and It would have been pretty good finish, I think, but I kind of ruined that. But it was still a good race, and congrats to Andrew. He's a lot faster, I think.
You looked pretty solid throughout the night. What were your thoughts there on that final run? I know we talked to you right before the green flag, but once you got up to his bumper and the rest of the field was pretty much half a second to a second off, did you think that, I know you said you felt like you could rub with him, but did you think that rubbing would be necessary, or do you think you might be able to get up on that high side like you said and just get around him? I know he was fast all night long.
Yeah, I really wanted to do it cleanly, unlike last time. But it was a great race, and I guess I just tried too hard. But I think I probably had something for him. I don't know how much. I don't know if I could have passed him. The inside just really does not work in 1 and 2, and you lose a lot of time and a lot of momentum down on the bottom when you try to pass. It gets really tight. So, the preferred line is definitely on the outside, and trying to get there was a little difficult.
All right, congratulations there on the finish. Definitely cannot complain. Who do you have to thank for that third place finish?
I had a new paint scheme Kroger this race, and you'll see the Wesco car next Thursday. Castrol Edge, Upper Edge Racing, just putting on a great show, and every Thursday, and Ryan Dyson for putting it all together. And you got to thank you guys for the great broadcast. You guys do a great job every week.
All right, thank you very much there, Austin. Congratulations again. We will see you next week. But for now, Shane Doherty, Steve Bonesteel, we will be tuning it off for the night from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. The Circle Alliance 200 is all wrapped up with Andrew Fayosh going 2 for 2 at the start of the CMC Sportsman Series here in the Upper Edge Racing League. Congratulations to him. Any final thoughts there, Shane?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we can get a word with Andrew Fayosh III. He is in the interview waiting room, Steve. So if you want to pull him up, that would be a possibility.
I don't know where you were. We just did that. Oh, Andrew Fayosh. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I think we could do that if you don't mind.
Sure.
Hey, Andrew, it's Steve up in the booth. I'm going to turn it over to Shane.
What's going on, guys?
All right, second time here this season. We're talking to you, Andrew. First race last week, you ended up winning at Daytona. You come back here at Las Vegas, do the exact same thing. What'd you think of the car early on?
It was a pretty tight setup. We were running the fixed, but I don't think it was checked on the weather too much because it bottomed out pretty much all the way around the track, which just made it really tight. And the wind up in was blowing out of turn 2, so you really had to baby it to do anything on the long runs, and that's what I was trying to do early, was just not race too crazy and just try to save the tires to wait for an opportunity to make a move for the lead. But I screwed up. I took 2 by accident other than 1 caution and just kind of got myself stuck for a while.
Yeah, early on, you looked to be one of the fastest cars on the track, but Mark Murphy seemed to have your number early. Corey Hoover got up there as well, but what did you think of Corey Hoover and his speeding penalty, and Mark Murphy having some problems getting to the wall there and slowing his car down?
Well, I kind of saw Murphy running a bit of a higher line than everyone else, and I saw him just pushing it to the edge, burning that right front, and I just thought, I'm going to keep waiting on them. They're going to keep messing up. They keep pushing the right front that hard, they're gonna burn it up. So eventually he did, to the point where he got the wall. It sucks that he got the wall and screwed up his car because he was quick, but I think it would have been fun trying to battle him for it. And as far as Corey's speeding penalty goes, I had it happen to me 2 weeks ago in a league race somewhere, and it cost me a win. So I feel for him, but unfortunately, sometimes that's how it goes.
Yeah, and in that final run there with Austin Hartenfels, it was looking to be an intense battle. Austin rode behind you for a while, but then he got into the wall off turn 2, and that pretty much sealed the deal there. How hard were you pushing it there, trying to keep him behind you?
Oh, that was a tough balance. I was between pushing it and trying to save the right front and not, make sure I didn't kill the wall off of 2, and He was putting the pressure on. I made a mistake there too with the last set of pit stops. I didn't top the fuel off because I thought I know it's going to be a little tighter, but I should be able to manage it because it wasn't too bad, and I definitely should have topped it off. If I could do it over again, I would have topped it off because I could not get through 1 and 2 the way I was earlier in the race. So he was just all over me there, and I'm just thinking, just protect the top. If he gets a run, let him have the bottom if he wants it, because that'll be tough to pass. But if he could get me on the bottom, then he deserves it. So.
All right, and congrats on your win tonight. Anyone you want to thank for tonight's efforts?
I want to apologize for destroying the car. I'm a bit embarrassed about my attempt at a drift there in 1 and 2. Usually I'm pretty decent at drifting on here, but yeah, I got a little overzealous with it and overcorrected and destroyed the car. But I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, and thank everyone at Upper Edge for putting the league on, and thank my sponsor, New Millennium Gaming, with the On the Table. If you're in the casino business at all, or if anyone, I mean, I highly doubt it, but if anyone's listening and they're in the casino business, check it out. Look us up.
All right, and you have a good night, Andrew, and congrats on the win again.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, with that being said there, Shane, we are going to tune it off for the night here. 2 hours into this event. We had a great race here tonight. Again, Andrew Fashley come away with the win in the Circle Alliance 200. We will see you next week. Don't miss the race. 8:30 p.m. We will be live.